Hello everyone. So I guess we'll try to warm up a little bit this panel, which is the last one, I guess, before the lunch break. I will ask first Nicholas to start with his quick elevator pitch as we talk about with two entrepreneurs here.
Yes, hi everybody, and thank you, Fabio. So I'm Nicholas, I'm the CEO of Unmanned Life. So Unmanned Life, we are a UK company, and we are the software platform that orchestrates fleets of drones and robots, and we are deploying use cases in security for factories, inspections with robots, orchestrating robots inside factories. And we are now working with large corporations like Telefonica, like Iberdrola, SEAT, and deploying these use cases also for the green manufacturing and the green economy of tomorrow.
Thank you, Nicholas. What about you, Jonas?
Hi, I'm working for a company that I founded together with a friend. It's called SteelRide, and we have a technology that's called SteelFold. It all started with a piece of paper, actually, and we got inspired by samurai swords, IKEA, and the ancient art of origami. And we thought, what better use to do this than to have robots folding green steel, into curved shapes. So I can demonstrate what we do if you want to stand up, the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to practice some body origami here. If you just close your eyes and fold up. And fold backwards as far as you can go. And feel the curve. You can fold back now. Unfold. So we use the curves to create strength in structures, reducing weight, material, CO2, and we do this on mainly transportation. We do an electric motorbike, but also working with Polestar on automotive, Daimler on transportation, and we're applying it to foundations as well, which is more recent concept.
Okay, very exciting, very exciting. Thank you, and also for the demonstration. So the panel is about greener industrial manufacturing. I think if you look a little bit, you both coming from different European regions. If you look a little bit the different programs that several European countries are putting up to support reindustrialization, it's not surprising to see a lot of proclaims budget to be identified and other measures that will go or things to go towards the idea of making Europe a greener manufacturing place in the future. So I guess what is your view from your own specific ecosystem, and what is the impact that any of those measures you already see are making on your specific business case? Maybe I'll start from you, Jonas, this time.
I think there is, especially in transportation and automotive, there is like a total transformation happening, mainly driven by the consumers, but also by the technologies available today. So electrification is driving this, new materials, and also this ambition to do a green transformation. Because if you're not doing that, you'll be out of business in the 2030s, I guess. And at the same time, there's so much competitors coming into the market with new brands now from China and Asia. So there's a big worry in the mobility space in Europe right now. So, and what can we compete with? Being more sustainable, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for you, the sustainability, the green aspect is really one of the ways Europe should differentiate from a global competition point of view.
Yeah, I think so. I think being sustainable and climate neutral is the new gold.
Okay. What about you, Nicholas? What is your view on this aspect?
Well, what we see with all the corporate customers we are working with, there is a lot of transformation going on in the factories. For example, with the energy prices rising, all the electrification in factories now is going to solar panels, for example. And we see a lot of demand for new use cases using drones for inspections and to use also new use cases with drones and robots for last mile delivery. And we see governments putting in money for incentivizing this transformation and us being receiving these requests from these corporate partners. So this is how we see practically in the market this changing.
And I guess if I follow a little bit the suggestion from Jonas about the idea of green as an element of differentiation, I see also that we can, here we talk about technology, it's the South Summit is clearly about technology. What do you think is the role of technology? Maybe you can speak a little bit more about what your specific company situation is. What do you think the role of technology is in this race towards a greener manufacturing in Europe? Maybe start from you, Nicholas.
Well, the way I see technology is that we can help to automate certain processes where we can replace processes where before it was being used traditional vehicles. So we are working today with SEAT in Barcelona, where they were using normal cars to bring components from one supplier to the assembly line. Now we're doing this with drones and robots. This is purely electric. We are reducing time 5 times, right? So this is one concrete example. And this you have technology bringing edge computing, bringing orchestration with software, and the best connectivity. That's a concrete example of how you can reduce CO2 emissions. You get out the cars or trucks there. Another example is how you can bring the production to a much more precise on just in time, just when you need it. You are going from the big automation that you have big chains to a more autonomous, on-demand, autonomous mobile robots that are much more intelligent. You can control that with big computing systems that are more on the cloud or on the edge. And this is how technology has evolved. The commodities, the hardware is being commoditized, and this is how we see it directly in the market.
Okay. What about you, Jonas, in your company?
I think, I mean, like the combination of the technology and design is actually like the most exciting part, I think, because it's, if you don't use the design to design an application that people want, you know, then it's no point. And so, like the combination of different technologies, like we're working with software, geometry, CAD systems, enabling that to go to CAM systems, and enabling that to be folding patterns enabled by robotics. It's a range of technologies put together in a design and a digital value chain that is driven by design. I mean, to create the end product. So I think that's a great use case for us, at least. If we wouldn't have had the motorcycle, you know, as an application, we wouldn't have gotten, you know, the other applications, you know, the transportation, the posters, the enclosures for ABB, etc. So it's great to have a design application to drive the technology, because then you can work with that endlessly and end up with something great. And
I would add, think about prototyping. Now with technology, and this type of, you were mentioning design. Now you can prototype with 3D printing much faster. And so that means that you can innovate, and innovation cycles go much faster. And when we are talking about deep tech and robotics, you are not talking about long innovation cycles. You can test, innovate much faster, and then you can progress in your processes, test, fail, and start again until you get to your final product and to your innovation goals much faster for the green objectives that you are setting.
I see the point, and actually you said a couple of times the word faster and faster cycle, and I wanted to elaborate a little bit on this because I've been investing in this space for 10 plus years, and one of the challenges of industrial technologies, being deep tech or IoT at the time, we were speaking a lot of industrial IoT, is scalability. Because the problem is every time you try to bring some innovation into a factory, it's always kind of one-off job. Feels like always each factory has a specific element that in order to be replicated to the next factory, you have to design a little bit the system for the next one, a little bit different from the first one. Do you think we are progressing on this challenge in 2023? And what do you see happening in the next 5 to 6 years in terms of scalability for industrial technologies? Maybe Jonas first.
I think I mean there will be different processes for different applications. So low to mid volume, you could have a much more flexible unit of manufacturing, folding different stuff, you know, and that's more free form, you know, flexible robotics station. But for the more like high volume, you probably need a more standardized tool that can help you to increase cycle time and unit economics and so on. So. But I think those feed each other. I mean, like in aerospace and defense, you know, there is more demand for like flexible solutions, and flexible solutions can in the end be standardized to become, you know, solely one-purpose machine. So I think like the combination of 3D printing, additive manufacturing, together with folding manufacturing together with stamping and you know the traditional ways, it's a range of tools, you know, to achieve something. So it's more but the end would always be, you know, what material can we use in this process, and how much less material can we use in the process to achieve the end result. So and how circular can we create this loop as well, you know. So it's yeah, I think we're coming there.
You, Nicholas?
I think that we need to tell the truth. We are talking about mission-critical services. So if you have an impact in an assembly line, and if you are going to stop the assembly line, it will cost millions, right? So when you talk about scalability, your customer is thinking, okay, what happens, what are the risks if I scale this? Is it going to have an impact into my assembly line or my operations? But then when they see that robots before, they used to cost 100,000 and now they cost 10,000, that deploying before was 18 months and now it is 3 months, that it was before a CapEx model, now it's an OpEx model. You see all these innovations happening bit by bit. It is much easier to adopt robotics, to change your processes and start little by little. And I think that if you have a software approach to deploy robotics, you can scale it in such a way. And what we do at ManLife, we have a software platform that is able to orchestrate different type of robotics use cases, and we have this scalability and interoperability at heart, and the network approach that we have is exactly thinking about the scalability on the mission critical services.
Yeah, very clear. So talking clearly about scalability and the role that your companies, your respective companies, can play in the future, let's say 2030 horizon of Europe, is clearly, I guess, as I feel it, you know, your principal concern. But clearly, you're two ambitious entrepreneurs, so. You need to probably see, or you're already seeing or thinking about also beyond Europe, how to scale your business beyond Europe. So when it comes to you know, mission critical industrial applications, one of the challenges for large enterprises to adopt new technologies is also the appetite to the risk of maybe getting some economic advantages, but also a little bit changing the status quo. And when it comes to appetite to risk, our friends in the US, are typically more risk, have more risk appetite than our counterparts here in Europe. So, what do you think? Again, thinking about the future race into the greener manufacturing, what do you think is our or some of our competitive advantage of having companies and technologies built in Europe and exported around the world versus similar approaches our American counterparts might have? Maybe starting from you, Jonas.
I think I mean, of course, they're more risk-taking. I think the US. I mean, we see that a lot with like our corporate partnerships and academic partnerships. They're much easier to just make a decision. Yeah, we go. But I also think that the European model is winning in terms of supply of material and supply of innovation. I think especially in those areas like green steel, I think we're on the forefront. So I think there's still going to be like innovations coming out of Europe into the US. The question is if they're going to be kept European, if they're going to be purchased by the US in the end. But I definitely see that there's a lot of innovation happening, especially in the Nordics right now in the innovation space.
For green industry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Niklaus? What do you think?
I think that in terms of the race, I could not agree more with Jonas in what he said. There is a lot of innovation happening from Europe. There is a question on risk taken from on the corporate side. There are bigger checks that are written, shorter procedures and processes. And when you get stuck in the middle of long processes, bigger checks, then companies tend to choose, right? But at the same time, I think you need to choose the right moment to go to the US. So it's what we need to focus on in Europe is to make sure that we create the right incentives and mechanisms that the companies can grow and stay here in Europe, because we have the great entrepreneurs, and great companies that can make it happen. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, maybe going towards the end of the panel. I think as entrepreneurs, you always try to push boundaries and look ahead. So I wanted to ask you, starting from Niklaus, what is the impact you dream your company will have in 5 to 10 years into business and people lives? What do you dream?
Well, look, our vision is the autonomous everything. So I always keep saying the autonomous everything is when we are going to be able to deploy different type of robotics use cases, indoors, outdoors, and our platform being able to orchestrate all that with edge computing, 5G, air robotics, ground robotics, fixed robotics, water robotics, all that orchestrated by our platform. This is the impact that we are going to have. And that's for robotics for a better tomorrow, as we call it. And that's how we see the future.
But specifically, the impact on people like working industries. What do you think this will have?
In working industries, what I think is that it can help to reduce. It can really help to reduce the footprint. As we were talking, we have specific use cases that we are developing, like solar panel inspections, security, last mile delivery. This is where I see this deployed in different places in Europe, Canada, North America, and this is part of the plan of deploying the autonomous everything that we have.
Okay, thank you.
Jonas, I mean, our mission is to accelerate the move to green manufacturing and mobility, and I mean, 2030 dream would be to have like the top 5 OEMs have adopted steel fold and have achieved, tremendous KPI results in terms of climate performance potential. So, actually, lowering the CO2, reducing the CO2 footprint in the tailpipe from the supply chain, by at least 10 to 20%. I think that would be fantastic.
Right.
That's
just in terms of that, people can understand what it would be the percentage impact or the contribution towards achieving the 2030 CO2 emission reduction in your specific market segment, if you have some gross idea.
The vehicle industry is like the most polluting industry in the world. And the steel industry is 8% of the kind of total global CO2 emissions. So if we could lower the total with I'm not saying we're going to do it, but if the system could do it together, if we could lower 8% to 1 or 2, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I see that. We've got a couple of minutes left. I think I'd like to wrap up a little bit more from an investor perspective, a little bit my bias. So I guess anytime soon you both will be looking for fundraising. Why investors should be interested in talking to you and possibly investing into your company? Maybe starting from Nicholas.
Well, I think that it's an excellent moment to invest in deep tech because we are going to have an impact in the years to come. We are solving the problems and the challenges that the world has today. And we have developed a unique technology. We are having traction and momentum with incredible partners and customers. And now we are looking to take it to the next level. And we are at the right moment to explode and take our growth journey to that next step.
Yeah. Do you know exactly how much money you want to raise next and when?
Yes, so we are going to the market. We are launching our product in July, the first product, the U-Security product with Telefonica and Telus in Canada, and we are going to raise 5 to 7 million pounds for our Series A. Yeah,
thank you. What about you, Johannes?
Yeah, if you want to be part of changing how we make things in mobility and pioneer the green steel revolution, I think you should invest in us. But I think we're going to raise after summer. We haven't decided how much exactly yet, but yeah, quite a lot.
Quite a lot. Okay, we'll be looking for it. Maybe just 20 seconds each. What you've learned this couple of days or one day for you, Nicholas, at Sub Summit?
I think I learned a lot about deep tech and the position it's taken as a word in discussions here. No one spoke about deep tech. It was only SaaS a couple of years ago. But and also I had a fantastic session about IPR and patents.
Interesting.
And that was. And I think one of the most valuable quotes from there was patents are worthless really, but it's good for investors, but try to build in complexity into your solution because Coke did, no one has been able to copy the Coke formula even though it's available everywhere, So it's that complexity of the solution that you need to build in,
Interesting point.
That was my main takeaway, I think.
Well, on my side, it was my first time at South Summit, and I really enjoyed the quality of the panels, first of all. And as main outtake, as I said, deep tech a couple of years ago, it was not in the era of the times, and now everybody's talking about, and also climate tech and environment sustainability is very important, and I would totally support that also from a corporate perspective as a company. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today, and I think we need to wrap up.
Big applause. Thank you.